So this is Totally Detailed. I am Richard. My co-host Adam isn't here today. He's extremely busy with vehicle detailing. We have a very special guest on from Belgium called Yves from Gyeon Coatings. Introduce yourself, Yves. How are you?
Good morning, Richard. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
My name is Yves, French name, and I'm Gyeon's brand ambassador. Traveling, training, developing, kind of total package.
Yeah, excellent. So obviously with the training side, do you provide the training for Gyeon for that side of it, or is it something you do personally, or?
I do it at GEC Training Center. Of course, now with the situation of COVID, things have changed a little bit. And I also do here at Gyeon Courts Belgium, the Gyeon distributor.
Yep.
He's providing all sorts of training as well from enthusiasts to professionals. And this is what I do. And then, of course, for Gyeon, due to traveling around the world and doing the trainings.
Sure. Yeah. It's obviously making it very difficult, isn't it, with all the COVID thing? Hopefully it'll come to an end and, people can start traveling. I mean, there's a lot of traveling we've got to do with distributors and things, and it's making it very, very difficult with our own business because we just can't get to these guys to train them.
Absolutely.
So we're having to sort of, we've obviously doing stuff like this, and we're doing a lot of online sort of Zoom training and stuff like that as well. So it's helping, but it's never as good as when you're there in person. That's the thing with it. So.
It's never the same.
No, because you're trying to sort of express something and ask them to touch something because you know what it feels like, and it's so difficult because they can't touch what you're touching. And it's the same, I suppose, with decontaminating cars, isn't it? It's you're
but the thing of the real contact with people is not. I hate it. Okay, it's a good during COVID times. What everybody did this apero whatever on video. It's like
it's never the same as meeting people.
No, it's people should interact and talk and feel and But it is what it is. We have to live with it, and it gives other opportunities as well. Being creative and find other solutions. So
yes, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it certainly gives it should give companies a good sort of possibility to be very creative where they maybe weren't as creative previously with video technology and stuff like that. So it opens up a lot of doors for people. So and I'd imagine with guys like you, it sort of maybe opened up doors that you didn't think were possibly there. So it's maybe helped enormously with a lot of people. So
we focused. We had amazing year because our program was a bit like GNI's at home, and people start doing and cleaning their cars at home for those that didn't have the time when they were working or working too much or whatever, and found back some hobbies from the past. So I have to touch wood, but it was an amazing year for Gyeon and for me as well.
It's I think a lot of people, I think especially with sort of cars and in home interiors and things. I mean, we found it with our own business. It's, during the COVID sort of times, the business absolutely boomed, and, we were able to take the bull by the horns and, and do that. And it's the only thing we struggle with. Obviously you guys have your own dedicated sort of bottles that I think you have yours made for you, in your own molds. But I mean, ours aren't the sort of standard run bottles. So we found it difficult to get bottles that were the standard to us all the time. So that obviously made it difficult. Whereas with you guys having specific bottles made, to your own unique designs, it's obviously a lot easier to get those produced.
Yeah, but then you have also other issues like raw materials some raw materials that go in every, not saying bottle, but in every product. And these raw materials need to find a way to make something, and then you get stuck somewhere. I think everybody suffered from COVID in terms of delivering, in terms of people. And I think that in the beginning, it might be hard, but in the end, people start to understand, because when you order, for example, a new car, it takes 9 months to get Opel or Vauxhall in the UK to get a car. So it's snowballing, and people know, now that the issues with the containers that are not available when you don't have a container, it's going everywhere.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, we've had it with raw materials in one or two of our products, and it's getting them. You can get them. It's the price they're charging now. Some of the stuff that we could get previously, for one particular product that goes in, which is one of the ingredients. I think it was costing us something like, it was £50 for sort of like a 5 liters. The same thing now is nearly costing us £500 for a 5 liter.
Yeah.
So it has this snowball effect with everything. It's not just the bottles, the packaging, it's absolutely everything that has this effect. And it's just, and then people are like, well, why have you sort of limited the supply of it? Well, because we're trying to keep it the same price. We're basically losing money on the product that we're selling at the moment, but we're keeping you as clients happy, but we're losing money on it because it's costing us a fortune, but we can't increase the price because you'd be classed as a rip-off merchant. So you just couldn't do it. So we've had to bite the bullet on one or two of our products and sell them for, massive losses, but it just keeps customers happy. It keeps the flow of products going. It keeps other companies in business, and it just kept everybody going, So it was really good. So it's just
our main, because as a manufacturer of our products, we are manufacturing everything in our line. I mean, not the microfibers and bags, but let's say all the chemicals. Of course, you need raw materials, but when you're doing your own manufacturing, you have some more advantages than people that are depending on too much other suppliers, and they are the smaller guy. So this is something that is in our advantage, and because we also do OEM for other brands.
Sure.
And gives us some other possibilities. On the other hand, you get very high demand of products, and then when the factory can't follow the demand, this is of course great to hear as a company that you're growing and that the demand is getting bigger, but to a certain extent you can catch, let's say, 10% growth. But nobody can predict or can catch a 60% growth, for example.
Yeah.
So,
and
it is what it is.
It is. It is what it is. And obviously, growing too quick, it's like you say, it can have an adverse effect rather than growing at a pace that you can manage. Which is what sometimes happens with companies. They become quite successful and they grow at such a rapid rate that they actually go down because they can't cope with the rapid rate that it's grown so quickly. And it's, and again, it's another sort of area you have to look at when you're in business and you're sort of doing things. So it's certainly these last sort of, well, it feels like a year, but it's longer than that. It's quite a long time, like a year and a half. It feels like it's been a very strange period of time.
It has been very challenging.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of companies that have gone, to the wall, unfortunately, and others have flourished, and it's we're fortunate to have been one of those companies where people have been buying things like yourselves to do at home, and that's I don't think if we'd have had that, it would have been very difficult for us to survive because we didn't get help from the government. We couldn't get any help, so because of the type of factory unit that we're in, it's classed as a trade warehouse in England, and that is different to what they call a retail warehouse. So of course trade warehouses don't get help, so we couldn't get the help that other companies had got with the free grants and stuff. So we had to just sort of dig our heels in and survive, and it worked, and we've come out the other side shining bright and, bigger and better than what we were before. So we've got to be very grateful for that. So, and grateful to everybody that supported us, really. So obviously you're a detailer yourself, aren't you? And is that, what did you do before that? And what made you get into this business?
Well, actually, the business or the industry, since I was very little, I grew up with actually my dad having, when I was a little kid, I saw my dad washing his car, and he had from sports cars to other cars on a particular dates every time his car. So I grew up with a kind of, we call it, it's translation, the engine in the stomach. This kind of thing. And then in business-wise, when I had my first motorbike, like 16-year-old, I don't know how you call it. It's not a motorbike, but it's a 50cc moped. Yeah, I drove in the rain with a cloth in my back when I came at school to clean the white wheels. I mean, I can tell stories that it's sometimes you get it from the beginning. When you are talking about industry, I mean, I had in 1992 when I was I think 19 years old. I had a Golf 3.
Yep.
Golf Mark 3. Yeah, and I went to Germany to the first Volkswagen shows outside, and I saw Golf once with double carbs and chromed engine. And I came home from one of those meetings, and you have to imagine I bought this car because I was doing side jobs, and I was still studying at that time. And I bought the car. I bought another Ford old Escort to drive in the winter because I disassembled my whole engine and all the parts to let them go to let them chrome. You know, make all the parts chrome and polished, every nut and bolt. But this, you have, just to put it in perspective, it's 1992 Golf Mark II is a newer car. It's not a classic car yet. It's a newer car, and I'm gonna disassemble the whole engine. My dad opened my garage, and he saw the car with only the underside of the engine, and he became fully crazy that I just bought a book and I started assembling the engine. So and then cleaning this car and cleaning the engine in every part. It's been, detailing has been always something that I've had in terms of, I want to have things pretty clean everywhere. And it started, the journey of true detailing actually started true detailing in the terms of industry wise, I think it will be around 2010 or 2011. And then Gyeon actually, we met really close in first SEMA show that we did. I think that was 2015 or 2015, and from then on it went really, really fast.
How do you find SEMA? We've never actually been. We obviously had a booth booked last year, but obviously it was cancelled. We've got another one booked this year, so it's going to be our first. So we're sort of out in the sheds outside in the tents. So we're still looking forward to it. It's going to be
it's for USA market, it's a must be. I mean, it's such a huge market for brand awareness and brand presence. It's really important. You have to bite through the apple to be in the hole and to find your way up in North Hall. But now there is a fully brand new hall now for all the detailing that has been built like the last, I think, 2 or 3 years. It's something that you must have seen as a car enthusiast, because it's not only about detailing, it's mega huge. I'm maybe I'm privileged. I've been there a couple of times. I like the atmosphere. There's a lot of people with the same mindsets, and when it's about cars, I'm always happy to go there.
Yeah, definitely. That's like me. I mean, brought up around cars since a young age, and my dad always kept his car clean. But it was my father was very fortunate in respect that he had a landscape gardening business, so he used to deal with a lot of sort of clients that were like in the horse racing industry and stuff like that, and got involved with one particular client that was they were quite a wealthy family, and one of the sons had a collection of 150 cars. And while I was working with Dad once during the sort of school holidays, I was there doing some work on this drive. The drive to the house was about a mile long, so we were clearing all the leaves because the major bonnet wanted all the leaves cleared. And I was clearing all the leaves out, and I kept seeing all these American Cadillacs and things going by, and I'm thinking, what the hell is this? And got all excited about these cars. And one day the guy said, "Do you want to ride in the car?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" And Major Bonnet, which was the guy's son, said, "Oh, don't bother with my son, he's bloody ruthless child hooligan he is with all these sodding cars of his. And I'm like, it's actually quite good fun. I want to get in this car. And that's where it all began. I think I was probably 8 or 9 years old when I first did that. And then I started going there on weekends. Can I ask my mum and dad, can I cycle there on weekends? And I think it was about 12 miles or something. So I wanted to cycle there on weekends to sort of go and look at these cars. And that's how it all began. And then all of a sudden it's like, I get to 14 and they're like, the family said, did you want to come on a trip to America with us? Because we go to America with the, you know, with the son and the mother and the father and the mother-in-law, it was no stepmother and father, Major Bonnet, and said, do you want to come to America? And I'm like, yeah, why not? But you got to get permission from your parents, you need letters and stuff like that. So I was totally naive. I had no idea. I didn't do very well at school. I couldn't get on at school. I always wanted to work and earn money, which is what I've always done. Wanted to work. It was just instilled in me from my parents, just wanted to work and earn money. So I was always doing something to earn money. And whether it was chopping up firewood and selling them to the local sort of shop on the corner to sell to people to keep the houses warm, I was always sort of doing something. And I just left school at 14 without any education. And I just became what I call streetwise and gained my knowledge and passion for cars. And that's where it all began in America. Going to all the big car auctions in America. And I was privileged to see the Harem Museum before it got split up. We were there when the Harem Museum got auctioned off by Cruise, watching all the cars get sold. And I mean, phenomenal atmosphere with, you know, the Bugattis and things being bought by Tom Monahan and Jerry J. Moore and stuff like that. We bought a load of Duesenbergs and, you know, Tom from Domino's Pizza buying cars all the time. And it was absolutely fantastic meeting all these people. And that's just where it all began, just touring all over America for years. I must have spent between 14 and 20, I would say out of those 6 years, I probably spent time-wise, probably about a year of that in England. The rest of the time was in America, which is where I learned my trade, learning to detail, getting involved with the leather industry out there, learning products. And that's when I came back into this country. I just got that passion for detailing as well. And the passion for detailing then started, you know, you wanted more. And it was like, as you know, every time you do something, you want to find more, another solution, better and better and better yourself. And that's what we did with the leather side. It just became better and better every time. And and you do have that passion, don't you? And it's I watched your video that you sent me, and I mean, that was yeah, that was guy like that. There was one part of it I sent to our team that we have that do all our branding and stuff, and I'm like, I like that. We need to do a video. This is good. I mean, because I've got one or two cars that we can use. I'm like, we've got to do a video like this. What Yves has done here is absolutely awesome. It was just the story it told, you know, and the passion. You could see the passion that you had there with the story, and it was just fantastic. I loved it, and I think I've watched it about 5 times now, and it's just it's a story that grabs you, and it's just it's fantastic.
It's the honest truth. I mean, it's not been. It's a great work of the team, of course, from video perspective, because this is their job. I'm just a pawn talking, and it's behind the Gyeon. There is it's a super nice and friendship team. I mean, otherwise this isn't even possible to do. I mean, you would, I think, and I appreciate it, but I think you see in a video if it's staged too much, or if it's acted. I'm people who know me, I'm a kind of, maybe sometimes I'm too hard, or I'm too straight, but what you see is what you get. So
exactly, that's what this is the same with us. It's like I always say to people, we have a saying in England, a spade's a spade. You know, you get what you see is what you get, and that's exactly what you get with me. If some people think my attitude sometimes is a bit harsh on social media, but they know me. I'm not going to change. I am who I am. You know.
And I now I'm okay. This is also business-wise, but with all the social media, and I can imagine even other like famous people, it starts to be, for me it starts. How could I put it without saying the wrong things? I have to balance certain words, and not about. I can't say. I'm free to speak about if people say, what do you think about this or this? First of all, our policy within the company is when we talk about what we do. It's not to bash. It's not my style. It's not totally not Gyeon style to say, this or this about this brand or this brand. If other brands do this, fine. We go from our own strength, but in some cases, it's better. Silence is gold, and speaking is silver. So I choose for silence.
Yeah. We get it a lot with people say, you know, can you tell us about, you know, what this competitor's product is like compared to yours? Well, since we don't use them, we can't really comment. I can tell you what mine's like, but I can't tell you what theirs is like because we don't use their product. It's very, very simple. So we can't, you know, we can't give you a comment on that. Well, you know, do you think yours is better? Well, naturally, I'm going to say yes, it's better. And this is the reason why we believe it's better, but that's only from what I can tell, but we've not used their product. So I can't say whether it is or it isn't. It's very difficult, you know, and all I can tell you is give you the added benefits of ours, just like yourself. You've got to be very careful with, you know, with how you know, as you say, it's like the wording's got to be, you know, the selective wording. You can't sort of just go gaily ahead trashing other companies. It's not good.
Yeah, and for me, the word I really hate the word best, and in the company we as well, we really don't want to use this word. Rather never use the word, because what is best? Tell me, if you have a budget of 100 or 150 euro, and you have for example, in your case, and the leather of your seat is worn and torn, or you have a budget of 60 euro or whatever. What is best? Is it best to repair, or is it best to have it reupholstered? I mean, there is no best. There is always the proper solution, or for the right purpose for that type of guy or whatever. And for that budget, I mean, best.
Somebody, exactly. Somebody could buy a 10 euro product, or they could buy a 150 euro product, and the guy with the 10 euro product say, I like this better than the 150 one. So in his perspective, that's the best one for him. You know, exactly the same principle. So
I honestly, you have these forums, and I stopped reading forums, but it sometimes passes on Facebook in groups. People are lazy these days. My best friend is Google. We have a lot of information, but people are really lazy. We get questions or on other, what is best interior cleaner? What is best glass cleaner? I mean, really, 2021, you really start asking these questions.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's super frustrating.
Yeah. We see, that's why we've come off a lot of the forums on Facebook as well. It's purely and simply because it's just repeated questions day in, day out, that the guys that are there in charge of these forums, that are the administrators, they're not controlling that, and they should be really controlling that. And it's so easy to Google something, different glass cleaners, and there'll be something there to give you all these different perspectives.
A rough idea. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So obviously, before you started the detailing industry and starting with Gyeon, what was it that you did? Or have you always been a detailer?
No. I've been in technical clothing, like Gore-Tex and special custom-made stuff for special forces and police industry and everything. So I've been in fabrics. So yeah.
Obviously, with the Gore-Tex side of it, that's quite a good added advantage for Gyeon there with products, isn't it?
Well, there are some relations, there are some things that you can relate to in water repellency, but this is a completely different market, completely different approach. There are some similarities, but not massively. So not massively. And I'm still this is when you do this, I always feel close and not go for some brands have amazing patterns and amazing cut and amazing finishes, but I like to feel the touch of a fiber and see if it's nice, and then put it on. I hardly buy something online. If I know the brand, but fit is crucial.
It's the same with me. I don't like buying things online, especially when it comes to clothing. I'd rather go to a shop and do it that way. It's because the fit's got to be right, you know. And I want to feel what the fabric's like yourself, and it's just to make sure that feels right for me. There's a lot of people that'll do it online. It's like during the pandemic, I don't think I actually bought anything that was far as clothing for me personally online during the pandemic. So I wanted to go to a shop and do it, because it's just how I prefer to do things. I like to put them and try them.
But even in clothing, I'm very detailed orientated. I buy clothes for things that many people don't see or appreciate.
Yeah.
The way a seam is stitched on the inside, for example, I know how this costs more, and this will prevent this, and this. And there are some brands that I really appreciate for the cut and the fit and the finish. And these are not the high fashion luxury, most of the time, not the high fashion.
Yeah.
Most of the time, these are brands that are coming from out of ice climbing or mountaineering, because fit there is super crucial.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of cycling myself, and there was a bit about yourself with cycling. So yeah, I mean, it's clothing fit is.
I worked for ASOS. You know ASOS?
Yeah.
So,
right. Excellent.
I always wrote my bibs and my clothes were a bit sponsored by them, and this is to get ASOS and Rafa are two major, like, Rafa is English. I love Rafa, amazing brand as well. Simon Mottram, the CEO, was a brand manager at Burberry. The way he visualized the brand and made it to what it is, heads down.
Very good brands, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. So obviously, when did Gyeon begin, and where? Obviously it's
well, actually it was in 2012 officially, but long before there was the process already of making the brand and what that they wanted to do. So we started initially with 9 coating products and 9 maintenance products. So not only here you have the coating and then you have to find out what and everything. So 9 really coating products and 9 maintenance products. Imagine we're talking 2012. We are now 2021. And for example, Gyeon wet coats. I think everybody who used wet coats till today copied many times. Very very hard to make the same. We had, for example, Bath Plus afterwards. Still today, tire things that were really very revolutionary. When you look at it, 2012 2021 wet coats, this is almost 10 years, and now in those 10 years I can't find a product that is doing this performance this good.
Definitely.
So we did some pretty, for me personally, we did some pretty amazing stuff now looking back to what we have achieved. And then from those 9 products, we started to, of course, to develop and to find other things really steady, which results now in over 100 plus complete products.
That's amazing. 100 different products in the line.
Yes.
So obviously, as far as paint, what are the sort of things do you obviously have coatings for to coat with?
So we have paints, we have glass, we have trim, we have rim, we have PPF, we have matte paint, we have leather. Although in leather we can discuss, but this is I know how to put it, because I know this much about leather in my head. A lot of people think I know a lot. I know because I know what probably you know about leather, because it's your. But I know, I look things up and I study things from semi-aniline, how it's been done. That these, for example, these sensor techs from BMW and everything, that people don't even realize that they don't have leather. Makes no sense to put something on when you have a semi-aniline leather. The first 2 years makes no sense to feed it with oil or whatever. But it's what the perception of people sometimes is. And with the coating, we wanted to make something that is, for example, not affecting the color or the leather itself, but helps the cleaning process afterwards. White leather, it will stain from blue jeans when you get in. I mean, it will just prevent it to easier to clean. So in terms of leather, because I know you're a leather guy, we didn't want to, but this is so for every type of surface we have a dedicated coating.
Excellent. Yes, the leather, it's like obviously on the lighter colors, you'll never ever stop anything staining it. All you can do is put a coating on there that's going to help to make it easier to remove that's gone
exactly.
on. So
Exactly.
it's the same with anything. You can never, with a car, you can't ever put a coating on a car where it never ever gets dirty. It never ever stains. It's the same principle. It's
same principle.
exactly the same principle. You're putting a coating on there that's going to help it and make it easier to clean off and make that process a lot easier to save marring the paint, damaging the leather, etc., etc.
Exactly.
Same principle.
It's actually it's similar. It's a surface,
Yeah.
And then for the range of coatings, we have from enthusiast to professional line, a full dedicated line where people can pick their best.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously with the enthusiast line, that's something that anybody on the street can sort of buy and put on, hopefully without any problems with it. I mean, as long as people read the instructions, it's the same with us. We always say, read the instructions, take your time. Same with any coating, read the instructions, do it properly, and you can do it.
I think we are the only company, when you buy a coating box, a full coating box, because we have now light boxes as well for professionals, that they just have the bottle and the manual, but we have in the box, we have the sweds, we have the block, and we have a full dedicated manual. When you buy this and you read it, you take the time to read it, you will, in 95% of the cases, you will succeed. People can always F up, but
yeah, you will get the odd ones that will do that, and but it's the same with us with the leather. You'll get the odd one that gets frustrated because they won't read it properly, or they'll skip it, or they'll see something on the internet and think we're going to listen to that but not read your instructions. So you're always going to get that it's going to go wrong no matter what you do in life. Unfortunately, it's human nature, isn't it? You buy a toaster to do toast or a coffee machine.
Absolutely.
You don't read the instruction manual. You just plug it in, fill it with water or whatever, and then when it goes wrong, it's like, why is it not working? So
exactly.
It's human nature. So it's obviously, what's been the biggest challenges you've found working with Gyeon, as their brand ambassador?
Well, now for sure it's traveling, huh? But it's also, like I said before, it's a good point that we found ways to take the time to develop things in a different way, to take time to do things like that direction, because I can't travel. And for me, because a lot of things are asked everywhere around the world. Like 3 or 4 years ago, I was in Australia, Singapore, Japan, everywhere to do the trainings or to inspire people or to do demos or to whatever is Gyeon related. Which is very, very nice, and it's tiring, but it's very satisfying because you meet the people that really want to use your product. And this is what's now been. It's like you said, it's 1.5 to 2 years. For example, SEMA. For now, we can't travel into US unless you are in 14 days in quarantine in a green zone. Which makes for a team to travel 14 days somewhere in a quarantine and then travel to USA. So if this changes, for sure, I would go to SEMA. But if this stays like that, it will be very hard to be there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very hard for us to be there if it stays the way it is. I'm hoping that they, put it on the green light and we can move forward. But it's very difficult if it isn't.
Yeah, we did road trips. We did the Gyeon UK road tour, where we did a full trip from complete UK to visit the certified detailers and to get people together. Because what really is necessary, and I think you can relate to that, is that although people say or do a training once, repetition is necessary. Absolutely. Of course, we have people experience problems in a different way because of climate. Because for me, visiting UK was an eye opener.
Yep.
Yeah, an eye opener in terms of positively and negatively in terms of studios. And I don't need to be super fancy and big whatever, but climate, temperature, what in what kind of environment coatings are applied, because UK weather is a bit like Belgian weather. When you apply coating and next day it's raining and you send it out, is it applied within normal temperatures? People experience problems of this and this, and then you see, but this is this is not something that's actually ideal to put a coating on, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And whether you can never type this and say, yeah, we did it. The way they polish, and yeah, we used this and this, and we did this speed and this speed, and then you see actually what's happening, and then you're like, yeah, but man.
Yeah.
And this is, I think it's in every kind of training, whether it's leather or not, but
yeah, it doesn't matter what industry it is. If you've got something there that you're doing, things change. You know, I mean, we've got an ever evolving, changing world with the weather. I mean, and that obviously with something like a coating, it's the same with us. It's giving you a challenging time because that weather is continually changing, and you've got to. I'm a great believer in, like, with the training, you're not really spending money when you're training, you're investing at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One of our previous podcast people said to us, and it made me sort of realize that I've always said you're training and you're going to spend money on training. And it's made me realize what he said to us. What Oscar said was, that you are investing in your future, and to continually invest is the best thing to do. And I've sort of, since we did that podcast with Oscar a few weeks ago, I've adopted that attitude. And it's something we've always said, you're paying for your training, but you're investing in your future. And
I did trainings in polishing, for basic polishing for guys who do second-hand cars. They buy second-hand cars and they have to send it out for sale, and it has to look all right, decent. No, I don't call it detailing, but I mean decent.
Yeah.
So when they ask me for a day of training, they say, yeah, it's expensive. But he came back to me afterwards and said it was the best money I ever spent, because I told them to ditch all their rotaries and to do a simple procedure of this polish with this pad, and afterwards this with this, and that's it. For everybody the same.
Yeah.
Because it's about budget, and it's not about detailing there. It's about budget, getting a car out, and the car doesn't need to come back for issues that were actually caused by improper polishing.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's pretty simple, but people have to try to understand.
So are you planning on, obviously once COVID restrictions are over, doing more of these road trips around the world?
Yeah, absolutely. The plan is for sure. I think when all restrictions will be gone, I think my wife told me that I will probably not be home for a couple of months. Or come in, take another. Actually, in the past it has been like that, coming home, have 2 days here, and then picking another bag and going out again. Yeah. So it's nice. I like traveling a lot, and I like meeting people a lot, far more than doing Zoom calls.
Sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's fine.
It's okay, but it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, no, it's always better to meet people in person. Do you take your wife with you sometimes when you travel?
No. No, because I have a son. I have a son as well, and and my wife is a teacher, and she's a bit restricted to holidays. So during the year, it's impossible to.
How old's your son?
My son is 11.
Okay, so he'll be getting the bug now about cars.
Yeah. By the way, congratulations yesterday with the win on.
Yeah. That was quite a nervous time. I didn't think they were going to do it at one stage, but they
it's great for football. It's great for football, and it's great for, of course, for England, and I think the generation of it's a pity for Belgium, but it's great for football.
Yeah, I think it was. I was dreading it if we were going to get Belgium in the final, to be honest, if that was what was going to happen. But when Belgium went out, it was like, whew, that's quite a relief. So but then the way Italy played the other day with Spain basically did what England did with Ukraine. And I think if they can do the same thing with Italy, I think we stand a pretty good chance, to be fair.
Well, you have the biggest advantage that you can ever have is that you have the Wembley Stadium with probably 60 or 70,000 people there. So that's a big advantage.
Yeah, it's a very big advantage, but you've got Italian people who are very, very, very passionate about what they do. So you've got that side of it as well, and they'll have got that sort of psychological side of them psyched up because they'll have got that passion built up inside them. So I mean, they're very passionate people. So I can imagine it's going to be a tough game. I think
it's going to be a tough game.
It's going to be
may the best win. I have to do it like that because I have a lot of Italian friends as well. So
yeah, it will be. I think it will be the best person wins, and it's going to be. I really don't know who is going to win this one because it's going to be a very interesting one. I pray and hope that England do, but it would be very good because they've not really won anything in football since 1966, so it's going to be good. It's the first time ever in the world.
For the sake of the sport, I hope it's not going to be penalties because
I know.
I mean,
cruel.
I love the tension and everything, but for the sake of sport, I hope it's really in whether it's in a real match that it's get decided.
Penalties are cruel. They really are. Penalties are really cruel. I don't like penalties. I'd rather it be in the 90 minutes and
exactly
that's the game and that's it, and forget all the rest and crack on with it. So, and hopefully that's how it'll be. So, and if it's Italy, congratulations. If it's England, again, good luck. So it's going to be an interesting one. So going to be certainly on the edge of my seat watching that. I think
likewise.
I think a lot of countries are going to be around the world. So it's
absolutely.
It's going to be an interesting one. It's good. I mean, it's the first time in our history that we've actually got into the final of the Euros. So
I know. That's why it's great for football when you look at the history, because England is kind of football country for sure. Yep. One of the biggest nations of football country. And then bringing that to Wembley for the players, it must be amazing as well. So it was goosebump yesterday when you hear the people singing. And,
I know. Yeah, it was very goosebumpy and very lumpy in your throat because it was quite good for the country. So very, very good. So do you provide an accreditation system where people can become accredited Gyeon installers? Or do you just do approved, or is it just any detailer, or is it specific?
No, we have two systems in terms of every detailer can send a message. Well, we have the website gyeonservices.com, and you can tap there, become a Gyeon detailer, and you have to fill in some things. Then it goes through distributor and training, but it's not that something. It's pretty nice in terms of it goes for every fixed location detailer can apply, and also we have a mobile program. So not in every country, but imagine USA and Brazil, they have asked so many times for mobile certified products. So we have in Europe we have certified coatings which are Gyeon Coat Pro, Duraflex, and Most Plus. And for the mobile guys, they have Flash with a full infinite warranty program in that. We have now for worldwide over more than 1,100 partners. So and this is growing, but we also evaluate every year because Richard, to be honest, in some countries they are limited in what's possible. We try to be strict, but in some countries we have to say, okay, you need to have something mobile, otherwise there is nobody that can provide a service. And we are very happy with the situation so far. We are not sending out diplomas and things, so it depends from country to country. But like, for example, in Belgium, they have probation period of 6 months. They have to come for training. It gets evaluated how it's done. Do you have insurance? So we try to do it properly and not send out diplomas without any knowledge.
There's a lot of people that do that, though, unfortunately, isn't there? Which makes the industry look bad, that where people will just send out diplomas to everybody and certificate anybody and everybody without proper training, and they'll come along for half a day and all of a sudden you're a fully accredited person, and it's not possible because you've got to see people's work, you've got to see references from people, from customers, to make sure they're doing the job properly. You've got to make sure they've got all the insurances, and again, that obviously puts workload on you to make sure all this is in place. So it's and it's not I'm not going to say it's perfect in every country because sometimes it's not possible. Imagine a follow-up in UK. We are now trying to work with a kind of brand hero guy in every country to follow things up. That's more closely to us, because if I would start traveling just to check UK, I'm 6 months out of my house.
to just see people who applied for becoming certified to train. It's undoable by one guy.
Do you know how many you have in the UK that are certified?
You can look it up on the map by heart. I don't know.
Yeah. So, but as you say, there's quite a lot of them around the world. So that's it's quite good. Obviously, all your coatings. I mean, a lot of you read up on like a lot of different coating companies. They have all things like certificated, tested, and stuff like that. Is that the sort of thing that Gyeon does? Has everything sort of certified?
We try everybody who wants to become certified detailer, or we learn in the trainings what the certificates are about. Because in the past we haven't been pushing the 9H on boxes or on. Okay, it's mentioned on the website, this and this is, but it's far more important that people know what it is about. Our coatings are tested in two labs, SGS, KTR, Swiss and Korean lab. People can ask this, but I like to say, when a customer comes for a coating, and whether the coating is tested or not tested for the customer, for me personally, I like to say, I don't care if the cat is black or white, as long as it catches the mouse. I mean, the coating has to do its job properly. And we as Gyeon stand for that what we provide to the customer, that it has been tested, first of all, by us. The lab can provide certain things in terms of whether it's gloss or 9H. I'm not going to dive into this, but it works. It worked on so many cars. It was tested by us on so many occasions. So there is always something that can go wrong, but we have a lot of variables that come into play. So the more important thing for us is to provide a service to whether it's to the detailer or to the customer to fall back on. Exactly. What went wrong? Okay, we can check that. For example, our certified coatings with Infinite, we have all bottles with a number, so we see the production dates. All the products, all the coatings that we provide are last in, first out. So I mean, it's produced. The moment it's ordered, it's produced. When it's produced, it has the shipping time and it comes to the distributor. So you have, let's say, a 3 months maximum production from production to distributor. It's not that something is made and okay, this guy asks this, we take this bottle and it's 9 months already. This can happen at distributor level, but not when they order and we deliver. So we can trace it. What bottle did you use? You have a number. So
it then helps with cutting down on fakes, doesn't it? Because you always get people out there that will try to make fake products as well. So at least with having that system in place, it sort of gives credibility to people that are looking at coming on board, with Gyeon to do this. So obviously with the coatings, and you sort of touched on it earlier about, they get like a guarantee on it. How does that work? How does the coating work? So if an installer installed it and a coating failed, if he's done that properly and something went wrong, how does that warranty, does it?
Well, actually, first of all, we try to find, has all procedures has been done properly. When I'm talking about a coating has failed and it's warranted only on the certified detailing program. That means that the Most Plus and the Duraflex, when that would fail, we can check batch number and what's happened, and then we try to find where it might have gone wrong. And I can tell you 50 stories of it's the coating, and when we look deeper into it, what happened is, did you wash the car, for example, with hot water and dishwashing soap before you started coating? No. Why? Because it's in the manual. First of all, because I don't know with what people polish. How much heat they put on the paint. Which finishing polish do they use? I mean, there are a lot of variables that can trigger that. And then also customer related. I mean, a customer, some customers, and this is also the job of the certified detailer, to provide the correct information, what the coating will do. We provide it in a booklet, what they can expect from a coating and what not to expect from a coating. If they think they can leave the car under a tree for 4 weeks, drive to France, leave it there for in 30 degrees with full of bugs on it, then drive back home and hope that they just with a pressure washer move everything off.
Yep.
It's false information, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's never going to happen. So yeah,
it's never going to happen.
No, it's definitely not when they do that. We get it all the time with people where they're sort of saying, "Yep, we've never done anything to it. That's exactly what we did. We did exactly what you told us to do, but it's damaged the paint or it's damaged the leather." Well, you can't because if you'd have got it off within a certain period of time, it would have been absolutely fine. And that's the problem. People just don't do that, and they will always say that they have, but they never have. And it's
Richard, in leather, it's the same thing. When you start coloring leather and you don't properly prep it, it's the same with paint and with polishing. The preparation is so crucial. From the chemical or mechanical decontamination till the end process. It's not actually the putting on the coating should be the easy part. I mean, the easy part, the ice on the cake or whatever you want to call it, but not. This is where everything should be done.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same with the leather side of it. It's what we always say to people. And they're like, how long does the process take? And we're like, well, you're talking maybe 3 hours to do that job. 2 3/4 hours of that is going to be prepping. The last 15 minutes is going to be putting the paint on.
Exactly.
Very, very simple. And they're like, really? You only take, like, absolutely. We're going to be 2.5 hours prepping that. The last few, the last bits is paint, lacquer, and protecting it, and that's it. And they're like, it's really that quick? I'm like, yeah, it is that quick, and they can't believe it. And it is. It's the prep work is very, very crucial with anything.
And this is the same with pricing, and it's the same with pricing on coatings or on detailing jobs. When you have a bolster that need to be replaced, and people start painting a full leather seat, whatever color it is, and they charge, let's say, 100 quid for it, then I'm saying, man, go to the reupholstery and they will do your bolster for 150 because you spend 5 hours coloring this seat, which is never in. I mean, when you ask the correct price and then I'm into pricing, fine with me, but not for something that takes so much time when you can do a reupholstery job that's far quicker and
exactly
less pricey.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's all swings and roundabouts to it. With everything that you sort of get involved with. What's the next steps for the sort of future for the business for Gyeon? Where do they plan going from here?
Well, we are still we don't want to. We never launch products to launch products. We always try to find, or for example, the new wax. It's in a deo stick. The way it comes out, it's not in a jar. We always try to evolve products now. Let's say, not make a new coating just for the sake of making a new coating. It has to be whether easier to apply, whether less stages. For example, 2-stage coating to bring back the same performance to one-stage coating. So we are trying to evolve every single product. In terms of details, for example, we have new triggers that are made for us exclusively, with more ergonomic shape on the back, with less, with a 3-finger, with different mist pattern, and this is all detailing into the product. So programs for distributors. We have the Gyeon app that people can download to find out, to ask questions, to see answers to questions. We have a website with FAQ. So we want to play on every level what we do. For example, the bottles, every bottle of Gyeon has the label with the languages, what to do in case of, so all compliant to European regulations. And this is support, back office, marketing materials.
It's all part of it, isn't it? It's all the details. It's not just the how the coding goes on or everything. It's the detail. It's the whole package.
No, it's the package.
Anybody can make a coating, but it's having that support there at the end of it to back it up, and that's what counts in a lot of cases. If you've got that backup system, that's where you become a lot more valuable than somebody else, because you can offer that stuff. And
we want to give not only the customer, but we want to give through the detailer. When we're talking about a detailer, we want to give them the Gyeon experience. We want to give them, okay, your car, it's the second biggest investment after your house in most cases. When you spend that amount of money on it, well, we want to give you a great solution and also a valuable information of how to maintain it, that you don't have the idea that you blew out money through
money. So obviously on that sort of side of it, what's your favorite car you've ever detailed? Is there a favorite car?
Is there a favorite car? That's a good
I won't say the best car because I know you don't like that, but
no. Well, actually, favorite car. Favorite car in terms of looks of the car, or in terms of difficulty of detailing, or
I'd say looks. So the sort of favorite looking car.
For me, it's Porsche 911.
Yeah. Nice car. Definitely.
This is I mean, there are many other cars. I think there are like a couple of icons that I haven't detailed yet. For example, Jaguar Type E for me is super iconic. I really love also Lamborghini Miura, which is absolutely amazing. And this is more for the passion from the designer wise and how they put the car together. Lately, I worked 100+ hours on a brand new McLaren 765 LT. Only on polishing. Then another week on full custom PPF. These are amazing cars to work on. But I rather get from personal perspective, I rather have, like people say, 911 garage. And you bring me all the 911s, and they say, okay, man, make it nice again, because I know them pretty well. The iconic shape. Ask your kids to draw a Porsche, or you draw the line of a Porsche, and they say it's a 911.
They draw a 911.
It's iconic. The shapes, it's a passion for me because of the shape, but many other nice cars. I mean, I probably I'm not doing justice to other manufacturers as well, but I love, for example, I did a lot of Ferraris 512 and Testarossas, because Miami Vice, when I was a little kid, the white. I didn't do Daytona yet, because afterwards I did the Daytona. But the shape of the Testarossa and it's those are iconic cars. I'm not a big fan. Don't get me wrong, but the new electric cars and everything, I like to detail them, but there is not so much soul with that car to bring back.
No, there isn't.
I like to bring a car back to people. Bring me a car. I had people with tears almost in their eyes when they bring a classic car here when it leaves. So this is what
it's what you crave to do. It's bringing that car back to life again, isn't it? It's bringing the heart and soul back. In
a proper and safe way.
Exactly. Definitely. So we have a closing question which we ask everybody. If you could have told yourself one piece of information when you first started in business that you now know, what would it be?
Well, that's a very hard question to answer.
And that's what everybody says. It is a very hard one.
In terms of what I did is I consciously I didn't want to have a big shop for detailing, because the overhead, I think if I would return to what I would like to do, I would do exactly the same. I'm just in terms of my head, which I can't change. I would do things differently. But this is something that you can't. I can't reset my passion or my eagerness to learn things. It's too much. My wife sometimes says it's too much. It's becomes obsessive. But don't go to. If you do something, think wisely. Make sure you calculate. For example, people washing a car for $35, and I do these exercises for $35 with premium A products, having to invoice 50% goes to taxes. I mean, makes no sense.
Sure.
Don't believe everything you see these days on the internet.
Yep.
Try to filter the proper. It's very hard, and it will get harder for people that are new to it. But
sure.
Yeah, it's not if you read 500 books about swimming that makes you a good swimmer.
Yep.
So invest in trainings. This is something, and actually I did a lot of myself by learning, but this is something that I would, to gain time.
Yep.
Pay for training.
Yeah.
Pay for training.
Yep. Best investment possible.
And pay depending whatever you want, but pay for polish, pay for coat, pay for leather, pay for dry ice, pay for whatever you want to learn. But this is so much time saving. Yeah. If I would have had that possibility in the day,
yeah, and then that would have been the best thing to do. It's a lot of people, I sort of find that they undervalue what they're worth, and that's what you were sort of saying there. They sort of, $35 to wash a car or whatever, and 50% goes to taxes. It's, a lot of people are totally undervaluing what they're worth, and we see it all the time. People are asking us questions: how much is that average job? Well, there isn't an average job, because your job could be totally different to that one. It's like, well, I'm trying to set up a business, and what sort of charges can I charge? Well, what are your overheads? How much is your insurance cost? How far do you travel, and what type of drive? All these things are different things. It's like, how much is your mortgage on your house? Do you rent a factory? And everything is totally different. So each person's business, no matter whether you're, no matter whether we've got 1,000 detailers stood in front of us, they're all going to have a different cost element in life. And they're all going to have to charge differently to what they want to earn in life. And, detailer one might want £50 an hour, but detailer 1,000 might need £100 an hour.
Yeah.
And because they've got a bigger shop or whatever. And it's, all these things are different. And a lot of people make that mistake of just going with the flow because, the man Jack down the road charges $50 or whatever. He thinks he's going to charge $50 because that's what he charges. Well, and then they wonder why the businesses fail, because they don't plan properly. And that's half the trouble with it.
One last thing I want to say about a tip of advice: when not everybody is your customer.
Yes. Yeah.
You get the customers you deserve, but not everybody is your customer.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. It's a very good piece of advice. Definitely. So, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, and we'll get
likewise.
Live. And it's been good. And hopefully one day we can meet in person if you come to England. I think you have a guy, Harry, up the road from us in Beverley. That's, I think, a Gyeon installer.
From 8 is ATD? No.
ATD, that's it. Yeah, Harry's just
Harry Hall.
That's it. Yeah. Harry's just up the road from us. So, he's not a million miles away. So, I mean, if you're ever in the area, do hop in and see us, because we're literally 10 minutes from Harry's place. So
nice, really nice guy, very friendly family as well. We worked there in the Gyeon UK road tour.
Yep.
Send him he texted me yesterday.
All right. Okay. Cool. Excellent. So, we'll send him your regards anyway. Yeah, he's not too far from us. We talked to him quite a fair bit about leather, so it's helped him out in the past. So it's things we've done.
And when we meet, you definitely have to teach me some tips and tricks that are not on the YouTube channel about leather.
Oh, we'll do that, definitely. There's certainly plenty of tips and tricks we can show you that that aren't on YouTube channels that can resolve things. Definitely.
That's great.
So that was Yves from Gyeon Coatings in Belgium, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Tell us, how can people get all your social media things for Gyeon? Where do they go?
We have Gyeon Quartz Instagram account. We have Yves_Heylen.
Yep.
Heylen is my personal Gyeon Instagram account. Facebook Gyeon Quartz, website of course Gyeon Quartz, and gyeonservices.com.
Yep.
On YouTube we have a lot of new episodes coming from Detailing Guru on the Gyeon Quartz YouTube channel. And my personal Instagram account of Detailing Job is Detail. That's DYTAIL. So Detail, but with the second letter, the Y from Yves.
Yeah, excellent. Very good. So that was Yves. So thank you very much, Yves. It's been an absolute pleasure. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for Gyeon for participating and joining in with us today. Thank you.